Alright everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing a lot of yapping, so bear with me, this might be terrible. It's gotten to the point where I've had actually quite a few of you talk to me, well, I guess we have been talking in DMs and you guys have been asking how to stay focused on building big projects in Minecraft and just kind of where I get my ideas from. First off, I just want to say there's clearly way better builders and just way more creative people that are playing Minecraft. I'm friends with a few of them, and they make borderline masterpieces every time they play the game. So I've learned a lot from them. I obviously don't know everything, but you guys seem to want my opinion, which is a little crazy to me, but I will give it to you. So let's just try and get through it. I'll probably put up some footage of me grinding on the base or just something on our Minecraft world, so just enjoy that in the background while I start yapping, and hopefully the video isn't too bad. I'm gonna give you a very overanalyzed version of it because that's just how I am, and I think the gosh, I'm gonna stutter so much. Also, just real quick, you guys might not realize how much I have to cut out of my videos. I cut so much. I stutter so much. I'm a terrible talker. The two main things I was talking about, now that branches off into a lot of other paths, and I will get into it, but I think the two main things for you to consider when you start trying to build on a large scale is your time and your interest level. And I think it really does boil down to that because that will control everything. Now, for example, I have to work every day, so my only time to play is after work if nothing's going on, and I do that a lot. I pretty much work and play games. I do not go out. I love just sitting down and grinding. So after work, that's my time playing. Obviously, interest was the second thing I said, and I have a very high interest in Minecraft. I always have, and I think the game gets misrepresented a lot. And for the first time, like a month or two ago, someone was talking to me and they said the exact words that I never thought to say. And that's exactly right about how Minecraft is. Now, a lot of people have a lot of different play styles, and that's awesome. And that's one thing that I think you should recognize yourself before you really want to deep dive and get like really nerdy about Minecraft is understanding I guess your position compared to everybody else because there's so many different play styles. It's a sandbox game, which if you don't understand, there's no direction. A lot of people think the main point of the game is beat the Ender Dragon and then they burn out because they think there's nothing left in the game, and that's not true. It's a sandbox game, so there's no rules. There's no you have to go do this. You don't have to do anything in any order. You can do it however you want, get any blocks at any time or any equipment at any time. And that's what I think really separates the game from almost every other game. There's other sandbox games that are somewhat similar, but Minecraft nails it. It's very easy in a sandbox game for people to burn out, and that's fine. Sometimes people just don't enjoy playing these kinds of games for that long, and that's obviously perfectly fine. But if you want to start really building and getting nerdy about it, you kind of have to understand that because a lot of people hold themselves back because, I don't know, they want to play a certain way, and I love changing my play style. I've had many worlds where I'll never get an elytra, and that's like the main point of the world is just no elytras, just play through it, I guess as normal, whatever that is possible. I have plenty of creative worlds in my past, and right now I've got a nice creative world. I don't know, like to think my ideas out and build them. You have some people who play on adventure mode. I have got a buddy who plays on adventure mode, like only. So obviously he can't really play survival like a normal survival world. So he plays a bunch of adventure maps, and that's all he does on Minecraft. He doesn't like survival, doesn't like creative either, just likes the adventure maps. You might think that this won't affect your building style, which is kind of what the whole point of the video is, but it does. It really does. And it's because of the elytra. That is obviously a huge time saver, and it changes the whole game. It completely changes the game. Now, I could never build some of the worlds I've built without an elytra because I don't have the time to do that. And I don't really have the interest to do that because building on a huge scale is just, in my eyes, that's my favorite way to play Minecraft. It's just thinking of something that you think would be cool. And then, okay, for example, the pyramid that we're working on. I have thought about that over and over and over again about how I want it to look. And if you look at my early videos, look how small it was. And that's just because I didn't really see the full scope of the world yet. And then more and more of you started watching, and then I kind of was it was kind of pushing itself through my brain every day. It was like, okay, you kind of need to remodel this and rethink it through and kind of incorporate it with more building techniques and do this, and that. And that's just how I work. If I don't build something exactly how I want it, it will bother me, which is crazy because almost no other game has done that. Like, it'll just be nagging at me like, that is, you just left it. And I have to fix it 99% of the time. Back to what I was saying, you need to identify what your play style is so you can maximize, I guess, the benefits that play style has. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some psychos out there, and if I had the time and I didn't have to work, I would be one of them for sure, that just nonstop plays Minecraft. It doesn't matter if they have elytras or not. Like, they will build on crazy mega levels. Like, I'm talking probably like Hermitcraft level. Those guys are building every day. They play Minecraft every day. It's basically their job. So that's understandable, and you try not to push yourself away from doing what they do because you don't have the time or money. Because obviously that's their life, and that doesn't have to stop you. And I hope that my world is a little bit of an example, even though it's definitely not on the same level as those guys. It's just, I don't have that much time during the week to play games, so I just been chipping away at this world forever. And I mean, you guys know that now. I guess not really forever, just started this year, but it's just in this kind of slow grind, but it's also not that bad. But it's also like my main game. So if I am playing games, I'm most likely playing this. One of the big things that get me back on track towards your play style is the reason I play like the way I do is because I feel like I have to. Like I said, I don't have the time to grind and kind of play at a lower level than I could be without an elytra or, I don't know, any of the end game stuff. Basically what I'm getting at is Minecraft, even though we are in survival mode, I don't care about survival at all anymore. It's not even a question. Yeah, sometimes you have to fight stuff and you might die, but I'll just respawn and get another full set of gear right away and all my levels back instantly. So it's just not even a question. And that's the important thing for me. When I start worlds, I will rush as fast as I can. It'll be a speed run. I like speed running Minecraft, so it's a fun practice when you start a new world. Just for me at least, I love just getting a elytra. How fast can you get an elytra? Because that's, in my eyes, the best time to start building. It's hard for me to even get motivated at all to build a house before I have an elytra because I know I'm going to fly around, find this perfect spot. There's just a million things that I like to do after I get the elytra, and I think it's just more accessible and easier to get to the things you want to do. That doesn't mean you have to do that, and I know there's a lot of people that are against rushing through what they call the end game, and it's just, to me, the game's not even about that anymore. I've had my hundreds of worlds in my life. I mean, I've been playing since the game came out. It's been a long time since I've been playing Minecraft, so I've ran the survival run 100 times. I've done the creative thing, all the custom worlds, and it's just, to me, with how much I want to build and how like expansive I want the world to be, I can't not get to the end game I can't not get to the end game fast because it's just what I want to do is after that. So if you are trying to mimic some of the builds or the way I play the game a little bit, I just basically skip through the whole beginning of the game because I mean I've done it a ton of times and I mean it's fun. It really is fun, and I mean I've just done it like I said a million times. So I just get to my tools, basically get not just an elytra but everything you need to just be a builder and not have to worry about survival anymore. I know that dragged out a lot, but I think the point was made. And this is the other thing as well. If you have more time, and you don't really care about rushing through, that's great. And you can play the game as slow or fast as you want, even if you don't have the time. Play it as slow or fast as you want. But like I said, for me, where I can't be playing as much as I could as a kid, I just have to get past that early game fast because I've done it a billion times. Gosh, I hate having to talk for so long. This is so bad. All right, just a recap on what I said. Just one more time. Just try to identify how your play style is. You can, just like normal art, and yes, I very much consider anything built in Minecraft by anybody as art because it was you. You were the one that came up, like that structure or thing came out of your brain. Now tutorials are great. If all you want to do is build tutorials and you're happy with that, then that's a great way to win at Minecraft. Just be happy doing that and you're great. Now if you want to get like real serious about learning skill, I would say copy a little bit, if you want. If you're hesitant about it, you feel like it's cheating, then you don't have to do it, and you can still learn just as much as everybody else. Just with copy building, if you do it too much and you actually want to get really good at building, it's definitely going to hurt you in the long run. The more you do it, I don't know. At least for me, whenever I've ever copied a building down, then I don't know, I'm actually placing the physical blocks. My brain is remembering what I'm doing. I try and think of all the pallets that they're using and just try and make another building after that with the same style as the one I copied. So I don't know, it just can be useful as like a little bridge maybe for some people. But like I said, don't abuse it if you're actually trying to get skill at building. And when I say skill, I do not really include myself. I can just build on a big scale because I think of these crazy things sometimes and I'm like, that'd be cool to see in Minecraft. And then I build it. But there's people who really are skillful with their building. And I'm trying to get to a better level like that. I want to get to the best level I can be at building. So I've got a long journey ahead, but I'm getting a lot better. I used to focus on building a lot, and then it's just crazy. I look back now on when I was a kid, and when I was a kid, I think I would say I was really good at Minecraft. I know for a fact I would say that. As a kid, I would have said that 100%. But now I look back, and it's just like it's frustrating because it's like I wish I realized certain things sooner about the game and how to build and how to conceive your own buildings. And I wish I could see all my old worlds. I think I would laugh on how they looked, but I don't know. I just feel like I was so much worse than compared to now. And it's just because you just got to start paying attention to things that you really normally wouldn't care about if you're normally playing Minecraft. Like I said, this video is probably for the more nerdy people, but specifically for the people who asked me these questions. And I was not going to make a video on it, by the way. They started asking me to, so thank you. And I hope this shows you how I think a little bit, and I hope it doesn't let you down. Because I don't think my thinking for it is that crazy. It's just putting it together, and the time that you got, you can do basically anything in Minecraft, and that is what makes it such a special game, is because you can really build anything. It doesn't matter what it is. If you have the time, the patience, you can overcome burnout, which I'm about to talk about. You can build incredible things, and it's so rewarding to me noticing your better attention to detail on later builds And for example, like right now, the island. I mean, if you saw the early episodes and how uh, it's, I don't know how much it evolved. It was just two villages on this tiny little island. And when I first started the world, I did not picture any of what it looked like now. It was going to be on a way smaller scale. And then you just keep building on an idea after idea. And I look back at what I was doing in the original videos, and I just kind of curious why I even chose to start like that. But I'm glad I did, because you got to start somewhere, and then all you can do is build off of it. And just depends on how much you enjoy Minecraft. I think that's really all it boils down to, is because if you don't enjoy grinding for hours, which you are going to do if you really want to build, at least in survival, you have to, I'm going to say, pretty much really enjoy the game, because I've spent hundreds and hundreds, not even hundreds, thousands and thousands of hours throughout my life on Minecraft, just grinding. And I've loved every second of it. That's just because there's kind of two types of grinding in Minecraft, at least for me. There's probably more. Or maybe there's only one, I don't know. But at least for me, there's two things about grinding that I really enjoy about the game, and it gives me a good mix so I don't burn out. It helps with the burnout. I mean, you just have a long day, school, work, whatever, and it's just one of those days where you're cooked. Like, you just are so tired, and that's where one of the two grinding methods, comes to play. Now, I say grinding, and what I mean by that is, like, anytime the game is open, I'm personally considering that I am grinding right now towards, I don't know, a build being finished or a new build. And if it's been a long day or something and I don't really feel like being too creative, because it is demanding, you have to think about a lot when you're especially when you try and get into color theory and try and match blocks. And what do you want this staircase upside down right here? Would it look better with a slab? Maybe a new shelf, maybe a trapdoor or an open fence gate. And then you have to pick the colors, and it can be pretty, I don't know, demanding for me. It's just you're using a lot of your thought process, which is fun, and I love doing it so much. But when you're exhausted, it can be a little difficult to, like, really focus on your best building or really trying to improve. So the best part about building huge bases and structures and farms and just anything is you always need something in huge quantities. So maybe you need to mine out the floor that's 4,000 blocks, or maybe you want to start getting a ton of dirt for a build later, and you need to just start clearing a mountain. You have to, I mean, there's just grinding you have to do to build certain ways. And that doesn't take much brain power to just sit there with a haste 2 beacon, efficiency 5 netherite pick, and you're just sweeping blocks, whether it's the nether or anywhere. It's just a good, okay, I can just listen to music or a movie, a video, and just swipe for a couple hours, and then this whole chunk of mountain is gone. And then maybe I get bored of it. Maybe after 30 minutes, maybe after 4 hours. And, well, then I can just go back to working on the new project, a new base, a new farm, and really start thinking again, I guess, if that's what you want to say. It's just a good way for me not to burn myself out faster, because like I said, I mean, you come home from work or from school, and you don't want to just continuously strain yourself sometimes. And to me, that can be a very strenuous activity, is just really trying to improve your building. So that is one thing I do if I'm tired, is just grind away at the bigger projects. Eventually, if you really do get to the point where you are just completely playing Minecraft and you know where you're building and you know how much you're going to build or what the direction is, and you're starting to get to those larger grinds, you will get burnt out. I think that's a fact. I'm sure there's some people who could say they would never, and they're probably very right. And that could potentially be me if I had infinite time. However, that's not the case right now, and burnout is very real. And it can ruin a lot of people's worlds, and a lot of people never come back, and that's fine. If you want to just start fresh on a new world, that's great. I mean, that's all I did. But now that we have this world, the island, I think this is going to be my forever island, or not even forever island, just my forever world. And that's one thing I wish I would have thought about when I was a kid, because I would have absolutely loved to have a world from that long ago carry it like Toy Cat. That world, so old. I wish I could have had a world like that. Now, it would be a crazy disk size, but disk size, it would just take up a lot of storage now, but it would just be really cool to have. But yeah, it's, for me now on this forever world, it's a little bit more tied in with you guys now on YouTube. That's kind of the main reason I'm doing all of this, is to survive island. So I have crazy future plans that are just exponentially getting bigger and bigger every day, because I don't know, that's just one of my really fun things I find about Minecraft is, again, you can build anything. So why limit yourself if you want to put the time in? And I think I want to put the time in. Maybe that changes, but I've been burnt out many times, and just play another game. You don't need to force yourself to play a game you don't feel like playing. Take a break for months, or even longer. And a couple of you said you felt like you had to like force yourself to play, or else you just wouldn't do it. And I completely understand what you're saying, because there's been many times where I have done that. But now it's just like, if you really do like actually like Minecraft and you really want to play and get better, you will come back. So Minecraft's always in my rotation. Like the past few days, I've been playing Half-Life, and it has been so much fun playing all of it again. I immediately started playing the second one, which I'm going to upload the rest of it. I already uploaded the first half, or not really the first half, just the first video. Trying to limit myself from yapping here. I feel like I've been talking so much. One of probably the best things you can do is use the internet. Just look up everything. Look up, you want to build a castle? Look up a real life castle and just try and mimic it. And that can be a great thing to start improving your building, because not only are you learning what castles, okay, let's say you do pick castles, not only are you learning exactly what a lot of different shaped castles look like, you're also already trying to mimic the colors, which can get so deep in Minecraft. So much more than I ever thought it could when I was a kid. And that is one of the biggest things I wish I realized when I was younger, is color palettes in Minecraft. They can change everything. But just start with copying real life buildings and try and turn them into Minecraft. You'll find it very difficult to start matching things that are small, especially like windows, and getting detail on certain buildings can be really tough. So you have to start kind of learning how to get around that, or do you even want to include that detail? Can you include it with it looking okay? Just don't even start. You're going to do it because everybody does it, because you're going to see it, but don't compare your builds to other people on how good they are, because you will get so much better the more you do it. It's just how it's going to happen. You're going to be so much worse, and it's how I still feel when I look at all these builds that I see on YouTube. So there's people building like Mona Lisa equivalent stuff on Minecraft that just blows my mind, and it's crazy. So I joined this world the other day. These guys invited me. Oh my gosh, they had like portraits of like historical people, and it looked real. And I flew up to them, individual blocks. And these guys just play Minecraft. They just, that's all they play. And they are always on talking about color theory. They have crazy palettes all over, and they're just always building. And I've seen some mind-blowing stuff in there that makes everything I've ever built just look so bad. But I've also improved so much, and I'm very happy with this world. So I can't wait to keep improving. For example, right now, the temple, I've been having a hard time deciding the direction of where it wants where I want it to go. We're still going to have the ship inside, so it's going to be like this little harbor inside of the pyramid, and there'll be a ship docked in there. Maybe it'll be transferring supplies or something, I don't know. But I've been debating on the ship because I think it would be kind of weird to have like a modern day ship sticking out of a pyramid. So I'm thinking maybe more, since it's a pyramid, maybe just an Egyptian kind of styled ship. So, I mean, just look up pictures of that and then kind of get my own idea. And at this point, I try. Now, like I said, I think you should start with doing it. Now, you don't have to. Maybe it is better to not start with it, or maybe it is. I guess I'm not sure, but at least I started by doing it. But like I said, start by copying pictures from real life into Minecraft, just to have that challenge of doing that. Now, once you start feeling a little more comfortable with that, still look up pictures, because it's like, I have no idea what an Egyptian-styled boat would look like. Well, I do now, but I had no idea just off the top of my head what that would look like. And so then I mean, just look it up. And now I'm kind of building my own ideas off of it, and maybe build your own style ship. I mean, if you want to go historical and you just want to build it one-to-one, that is super sweet. And I have some plans for ships just out in the ocean that will be one-to-one rebuilds. At least if you want to challenge your creative side, that's a great way to do it. Is just look at get reference photos, just like you do in normal art. I mean, it's just how it is. Get you have references, but then you start crafting your own kind of thing. That's also another like key point on what why Minecraft is so good for me, is because we're just talking about ships, but I mean, just use that same logic for anything possible, and you can just upscale and upscale and upscale. It helps to give things some story, I guess. It's not really story, but context can help for building, at least for me. Like I mentioned earlier, the boat's going to be docked at a harbor, and maybe it'll be in its unloading phase. So I can picture that. Like the ramps are down on both sides. Maybe we make it look like the boxes are being transferred, where they have a crane, or maybe there's, I don't want to say people, but there's other cargo being hauled off the ramps. I don't know. It kind of sells it more to me, and I can start picturing it in my head on, okay, maybe this block would be good for that. Or maybe, okay, I need to make a crane, but I don't want it to be modern because it's a temple. So let me think about what, like, I don't know, I don't know if you want to say Egyptian crane, but just during those times, what everyone's cranes looked like. You just gotta kind of give yourself context for your scene. And I mean, it really is your canvas here. That's just a huge positive for me about Minecraft. No other games really let you alter anything and turn it into anything. Most games aren't sandboxes. That's why, I mean, it's a completely different game. Most games are very linear. Another one of the, I would say, kind of things okay, this is different for everybody, and if you don't play like me, then this does not matter at all. I'm just talking for myself. So like, if you want to copy how I play, for me, it is necessary to have villagers and basically farms that let you build as much as possible or get materials as fast as possible. Like I said earlier, this ties in exactly with what I was saying earlier. You should get to the point where you're not worried about survival. And for me, there's a few farms you have to have. And I've been having a hard time not building some other ones, but I can't start any more projects. I have to finish the island, and then we can just start exploding into other projects. But I gotta finish this island. It's taking me forever. Back to the farms and kind of the things you need for your setup. Now, like I said, gosh, I say that so much. I repeat some of the same things so much. I mentioned earlier that you definitely want to have a netherite pick with pretty much just a god pick. I mean, you can, Unbreaking 3, Mending, Efficiency 5, Silk Touch if you want it, but Fortune is usually what I do. That's just like kind of rushing to good gear. Your first gear set can change the whole thing, like your Elytra, and then just fly around the end. Like, before you get your Elytra, just bring a ton of rockets. Just kill as many creepers as you can before you get your elytra. Collect all the sugar cane you can, and just immediately go to the end. Just punch the dragon to death. Just get pearls as fast as possible. Get to the end portal literally as fast as you can. Skip everything. Make sure you have a bed so you can keep respawning. And then once you get the portal open, just put your bed right there, and then just go punch the dragon to death. Sometimes I'll bring a water bucket and just water bucket, suicide up at the top of the towers, respawn, grab the water, and do it on the next tower. Very resource friendly, but you can lose the bucket sometimes. You can just bring stacks of dirt and just go in naked, and you'll just stack up there, blow yourself up, respawn, grab the stacks of dirt, and just keep doing it. And you can just punch the dragon to death and just get to the end city as fast as possible. And if you do it that way, you will probably spend most of your time in the early game in the end city looking for your first elytra. Either you'll get super lucky and it'll just be there, or you can be stranded for so long. You can bring a ton of extra blocks and you'll run out. And it can be so slow sometimes. But that's all for the first set of gear. Just once you get the elytra, just fly around, get more elytras, and get as much gear as you can. Drop all the bad stuff. Use the ender chest, fill them up. Get your first bunch of shulkers. That'll help you so much, especially if your main goal is starting to build. Like I said, just for me, I have to have more builds after that. After you get your first set of gear, then I really start branching out and building at least a main base, or starting to plan like a storage system or something like that. But to feel really comfortable, and like once I feel like I'm in the end game for me is feeling comfortable to build. And being comfortable to build is not just having that first gear set. That'll help you so much at the beginning if you just rush that gear set, and then you can just, you'll be in the end game at no point, or gosh, in no time. It was terrible. After you have the gear set, there's a few key farms I think you should have. A gunpowder farm is that's almost number one, probably number one. Yeah, okay. I think it's number one. But I guess these are all must-have, so they're all number one. Gunpowder. You gotta have a gunpowder farm for fireworks. You're gonna be blowing through fireworks if you start trying to really go for infinite resources so you can build with any block. You're gonna have a need for constant fireworks. So gunpowder is necessary. Obviously, with gunpowder is gonna come a sugarcane farm. Now, I don't have one, and my gunpowder farm is very slow on this world. So, coming, I don't know if I want to say soon, but at some point I'm going to build a way better gunpowder farm and a sugarcane farm on top of it, so I can AFK there at the same time. They'll both farm, and then we'll just run it into an auto crafter, so it'll just automatically make fireworks while you're AFKing at that farm. So fireworks necessary. Now, that also solves one of your other problems. Maybe. It'll be a good XP source for mending, because mending is, you're going to have that on all your gear. And just having a creeper farm can be just fine. You'll be grinding out some gunpowder, and at the same time you're healing everything you have. Not necessary. This is a little bit later game farm than beyond, when I feel good enough to start building. But a guardian farm can be a huge source of XP. And that's how I'm always above 200 levels now, just because I'm always at the guardian farm. Because, I guess I need a crazy amount of prismarine. So I've been just AFKing there, and it's just a huge source of XP. I guess you have the silverfish, or maybe it's the slime or silverfish farm, where you just nuke them and you get a crazy amount of XP all at once. I haven't done that yet. I'm gonna have to do that. I want to see it. But okay, I'm rambling on so much. Guardian farms are great for XP, but I wouldn't worry about it till a little bit later. Anyway, one of the other necessary farms is a totem farm. Just do it. It makes everything in the world so much better if your goal is to stop caring about survival. Infinite emeralds, and you get infinite totems. And sometimes you can get good books, and there's other stuff you can get. Arrows are pretty nice. I think some potions, maybe a little bit of redstone. I think witches do spawn occasionally, but not really good. But just make a totem farm, and that'll just save you from wrecking. After you have a character that's like 300 XP plus, you don't want to just randomly blow it because you landed too hard with your elytra on accident. So usually I always carry 2 on me, 1 equipped and just 1 just chilling in inventory, because typically I don't burn them anymore flying. It's just you never know when you're going to start fighting, and you'll just randomly die. And it's nice to have another totem on you, because I mean, you just go so far away from base sometimes, and dying really far away is just really annoying. So it's nice. You never know when you're going to fight, so I like to carry the second one. Infinite Emeralds just solves all your problems right there with your enchantments. And just wait for zombie villagers. And that's another key thing about your setup. If you're trying to go fast and you don't want to waste any time, get zombie villagers. They're going to give you a huge discount forever. It will go up sometimes, but not like normal amounts. And then pair that with your totem farm. You're also going to be farming the raids. I mean, obviously you are farming the raids. And then you'll have the villager effect, so then they'll discount you. So everything will be like 1 emerald pretty much always. Or at least anytime you want it to be, just go do a quick 5-minute raid at the farm. Then you can have that effect, and then everything will be 1 emerald when you want to use the shop. Really, all you're doing is setting yourself up so if you die and lose everything, it's not going to hurt your world at all, because that is a big mood killer. And I mean, that can ruin your streak and your mentality of playing the game for a little while, but that's what you're getting to. Now, I've lost so many sets. I don't even care anymore. It just happens, and that's just how it goes down. I have lost the best sets you can have just in the dumbest ways possible, and I let it happen sometimes. So it just is what it is. It's gonna happen eventually. Just prepare for it, and just make it so you die and lose everything. And you're like, okay, now if you're carrying blocks that you had to mine really far away and they're kind of harder to get, now that's understandable. That sucks, but at least for your gear set, you don't have to worry about that anymore. You die, and it's like, oh, you have all this netherite already saved. You have all these enchantment villagers. You have the XP farms. You have the rocket farm, the totem farm. You really won't ever die again after you have a totem farm. You'll burn totems, but that's not a problem. I mean, you pretty much, that's how you win the game, is have a mending elytra and a totem farm, and you're never going to die. Food farm is obviously necessary. Get any kind of food. Golden carrots are obviously the best, but I'm probably not going to have those for a little while because I'm not sure the kind of gold farm I want to make. Carrots would be very easy to put right next to that. If it's not in the nether, which I think it will be. I think with all those farms, you're pretty much ready to just not care about survival ever. Now, there's definitely things and times, there's definitely times you're going to. It's just how Minecraft is. You are in survival, so technically it's always survival. That just frees up so much effort and time so you can just focus on building and getting to where you want to go. And that's just one of those things I never really cared about when I was younger. I would just start building right away with nothing. And that's what I immediately started doing. Now I just can't do it because it's just so much faster to grind your gear up first and then just start branching out. But it also depends on how you want to build. I mean, it comes back to that. Everything that I say might be completely opposite for somebody else, and that's just what makes me happy when I play. And that's just how I've evolved into playing Minecraft. Just get completely set as fast as possible, because once you start really branching out your building techniques and you don't want to just keep using the blocks that are around you or where you live, you really got to put effort into getting those blocks. For the Guardian farm, there's like a castle. I shouldn't say castle. Might be close to might be closer to like a stable, or maybe like a, I don't know. I shouldn't even say that. The idea is kind of morphing in my head because I already built in creative kind of what I wanted it to look like, so I could get an idea. But maybe like an old watch post, I guess. We'll see. We'll see. But I need a ton of brown mushroom blocks, and it just takes forever because when you clear out, there's not that many in the dark forests. You can clear them out pretty quick. So that's just kind of why I think it's ideal. There's got to be more optimization than that, but at least the way that I figured it out. Once you have your gear and another set of gear that's just like that, just waiting in case you die, then you're chilling. I mean, you're already chilling way before that, but that's just how I like to get set up because, I play enough where sometimes there's a random death and then it just doesn't matter. You just pick up right from where you were and you don't have to spend hours getting everything back. You can just continue building. And as for ideas on what to build, I have no idea. Oh, I have no idea what the right or best answer would be for this because it's just anything. I don't know how else to put it. Do you have any interest outside of Minecraft? What are they? Building in Minecraft? Is there somewhere you've been that maybe you could picture in Minecraft? Build that. It could be anything, or just something completely made up in your head and build it. And sometimes it'll be terrible, and that's what makes it so good. And that's why I love this island because I can see different building techniques in each build, and I cannot wait to branch out after this island. The island, I think, looks really good, but it's all over the place. Like towers. Gosh, what am I talking about? A pyramid next to these almost, I don't know, Gothic kind of styled houses. The themes really don't match exactly with everything around, like all the other structures, but I think it looks good together still. But I want to finish the island, and then I could build like a huge desert zone where everything is desert themed, and it's not just a pyramid. There's a huge village or a mine or some other stuff. Same with like medieval stuff. I want to have like my own kingdom over by the Guardian farm where I can build on a large scale with one style. Now, there's definitely smaller sub-styles under those, and there's a whole mess, and there's people a lot smarter than me. They can explain that to you. Because I'm still trying to learn it myself. Once you start like really, really getting serious, your world is set, and like there's nothing stopping you from just grinding resources and building whatever you want. You have survival taken care of. You can really focus on some astronomical building. Like I said, I would look up like abstract builds in Minecraft or just modern day art in Minecraft. There's people building with blocks you would never think of, and that's just because they're using color theory and they're just blending the colors like you would in real life, but they're using the best color block in Minecraft. I'm sure you've seen it or seen some other crazy builds that have it because it's just extremely popular. It looks really nice. I just never understood that as a kid. I don't think a lot of people did because I don't remember seeing builds like this. Like these crazy people I'm talking about, like build. That I don't really think that kind of existed back then. There was still wild builds, but I think there's obviously a way more tech to it now with moving builds, and that's a whole other thing. Do you want your build to be eye-catching? That's one of the big things they do is focus on the points where people are going to look at and make those pop somehow with the environment around it. I was talking to these guys in this call in their world the other day, and they were blowing my mind. And they're just taking stuff you would do normally in art and just apply it to Minecraft because it is kind of, if you look at the game as a canvas, this is why I think it's important to get away from survival for me. I'm sure so many people think of it so differently, but if you can look at it as like, it's just your canvas now. You don't have to worry about playing the rest of the game because now you can build what you're thinking. That opens up a new door, at least for me. There's just a lot of levels you can go in Minecraft that, like, I don't think anybody who's ever played Minecraft thought about it like that when they first started. It's just, I don't know. When we were younger, I do not remember seeing people build like some of the people that build today. And I guess to be fair, there's so many more colors and shades of those colors in the game right now. But even then, the tech was definitely not as developed today. Like I said, people didn't care about the stuff that people are starting to care about today, at least in the like super crazy building community. One of my favorite builds that I've seen recently is the fans. If you have been watching anything Minecraft, you've definitely seen them either on Hermitcraft or somebody else has probably built them. But the new tech for using redstone and trapdoors to make it look like a windmill is actually moving and the blades are actually moving, or you have a tunnel fan for a sewer or something. It looks so good, and like it's such a good use of redstone and the capabilities of the game if you really open it up and push it a little more than the surface level stuff you see. And another example, I'm going to build this, and I have a couple ideas on ping pong and back and forth for it, but another moving build. I saw blinking eyes. I wish I knew who they were. I don't even know the videos. I saw it on social media. I'm sure it would pop up right away on YouTube, but someone figured out how to make a blinking eye in Minecraft, and it would look left and right. The pupils would look left and right, and it would blink, and it looks good. And it uses trapdoors, and from a distance, I think you could make some crazy builds with that. And I'm trying to think about how to kind of incorporate something like that into the to the Nether hub. But we aren't that far yet. We still got to dig out a lot. Oh, man. I feel like I have been talking for so long, and I feel like maybe I missed the point on so many things. But, oh well, I guess. Here's another tip, or I guess thing I do is just do things in chunks. I start a lot of projects, probably a little more than I should, but I also think it's a good thing once you start building at scale and you just keep getting bigger and bigger with your builds. I think it's good to have multiple so you can give yourself a break from one if it's starting to drag. I mean, I do it all the time. I know I'm going to have to dig out this huge area in the ground, and I just don't want to do it all right now. That's okay, because I have like 50 other projects started that either is another low maintenance project where I can just mine or do the same task over and over, and I don't really have to care about it. Or if I'm looking for something a little more thoughtful, and I have to worry about detail and how it looks, and should it connect here or what block should it be, and you can just kind of set yourself up to burn out less. Now, I still believe you're pretty much going to burn out or really get close to it, no matter what you do if you play for long enough. But again, that's fine. Just go play another game or stop playing for a little while and come back. And again, you're just going to have some bad builds sometimes. And I just bring that up because one of the things that a couple of you talked about is just being discouraged from the setbacks that you can have in the game. And that is one of them. Just like losing a full set of gear if you don't have any backup gears. It can be a huge gut punch. You grind for something you think is going to look really good, and the execution just isn't exactly how you want it. And it can look rough. So that leaves you with a few options. I mean, you can just start another project. I mean, like I said, I've done that. I've done that plenty of times. But also, that's also, golly, terrible. It's another opportunity for improving your building. It can help you so much to improve something that just looks bad and just keep improving it until it looks better. You don't always have to, I mean, there's plenty of builds where I can't just leave how it is because it's right in the middle of all these other builds that look good. If it is a big project and you do spend a lot of time on it and you have a big change of mind, it can definitely be a gut punch. And it's happened to me a few times where I spent a long time on something, and like right at the end, I think, it would look so much better than it would right now if I just did this, and it like changes it all. One of the worlds I joined the other day, they showed me some of their failed projects. It was bigger projects than I have probably ever worked on, ever. And they just left. And it's hundreds of thousands of blocks, completely unfinished. They just wanted to restart. That's how big those projects are. And they just didn't even care about picking up the supplies, which is crazy. But I mean, it's understandable. So just keep it in mind. You're going to have like a major issue with a huge farm or build at some point. You're going to let it slide. You can get pretty good with it in keeping each corner aligned and the right blocks at the right width and the right height. But some point when you're building for long enough, you're gonna mess up that ratio a little bit. It just happened with the snow globe. The entire stand was wrong. If you saw the video where I started building the snow globe, the wood stand on the bottom, it was the circle was completely wrong. It took me forever to make it because I suck at making circles in Minecraft. It was just all wrong, so I had to destroy the whole thing and then remake it. So it sucks, but I think the end goal is more worth it. So I will always rebuild. But just speaking from how I know I was as a kid, I would burn out quick, but I never stopped playing Minecraft. I would just burn out of that world, and I just wanted to immediately start building into another one. And it's such a shame I don't have the save files for that, or I guess even the Xbox that was even on, because I had to have had hundreds of worlds on the 360. I played so much, and I would just burn out of a world and just leave it, and maybe start a creative world and just build like crazy, burn out, and start another world. So that's just one thing that helps me manage it now, or just kind of lightens it a little more. At least now that I'm a little bit older, I'm definitely more conscious about what I'm actually building, and what detail kind of is necessary or not necessary. Those are just things I didn't really understand when I was a kid. I really, really tried to be a crazy builder. And I thought I was pretty good as a kid, but again, the building techniques are so different now than they were. And I think everybody was collectively worse a while ago compared to now. I think that's very clear. So I just wish I could have made those realizations sooner. That's just me. If you like playing Minecraft and you don't care about any of this, then that is perfectly awesome. Play it exactly how you want to play. That is the best part about it being a sandbox game. You can have, it's like one of my favorite things ever is I love building, and that's what I get on Minecraft for. I don't stop building, and that's like whatever I'm doing on Minecraft is working towards me building. And I have some people that I play with that they like to fish, and they don't care what they have. They like fishing, and it's just great playing with them. They're great to have in the world. Or you have people doing their normal survival worlds where they're not going for anything crazy and they're just playing through casually. Minecraft is a great default experience if you just play casually. Like games like CSGO. I love CSGO, but it's a very linear game. You know exactly what the point of the game is because there is only one point. Or I guess if you're playing Bomb. There's other game modes, but come on, default CS is definitely Bomb. You know that you're attacking or defending, and that game, game very clearly tells you that. Now, you can get extremely creative in CS, especially if you start watching Pro League. Crazy stuff. That's how it is with every game. You have pros, you have people that really nerd out about it and find the depth of the game. Now, Minecraft is way different because they don't tell you any of that, and there's no objective. They're not pushing you to do something. You could argue that they are pushing you to fight the dragon, but not really. The game just puts you into an open world where you can fight a dragon. I think that's where a lot of people get lost out of the pitch for Minecraft, is because there's not really any guidelines, and I just don't think that's fun for a lot of people, and that's fine. And you don't have to like every game. So if you just want to build and have a little 2-week Minecraft world and then do it again next year, that is always fun to do. But now I've kind of moved into this spot where even if I do burn out, which I don't think okay. I'm definitely going to burn out, but not like for days. It would probably be for a day. And then I'd be like, okay, I'm right back into the grind. But yeah, this video I feel like might be terrible. I don't know. It's a very cringy video though, but that's good. You gotta laugh at yourself sometimes. I cringe so hard at some of the videos I've made, but I watch them. I see them pop up sometimes, and I'll watch it and I'll just cringe so hard, especially my shorts. I'll just be sitting there like, oh my gosh. But I love it though. I think it's hilarious. I think I'm getting a little bit better, but I don't really make videos where I talk for so long, and I just can't. I feel like it's kind of clear why. It is weird talking to nobody in the room, but gosh, I'm getting a little bit better at it, I think. Anyway, I probably missed like 100 points that I was going to make, but that's how the video's going to go. There will be a real Survival Island video probably next, and I'll get your names in the tower because there's quite a few of you. Pray that I don't die of cringe while I edit this video. I think I might. I'm already thinking about it. I know that it's going to be so bad editing this video. But thank you for watching. I know a couple of you made it this far because you guys were the one who asked me to make it. And I'm very glad that you did want me to. So thank you so much. And I can't wait to see what you guys build because a couple of you have some crazy ideas that I think are going to look really, really cool. And then the other ones are working on more color palette sides. So I hope you guys start learning it faster than I am, because I'm not great at it, but I'm getting better. And as for me, I'm just gonna keep trying to improve my building. Now that I joined, I want to cut their fancy world because it was a creative, but they were just showing me what they can do when they just can build whatever. Holy cow. I mean, just look it up anywhere on YouTube. You can find just crazy abstract builds, just modern day art builds and crazy stuff like that. You'll see a hyper detailed builds with thousands and thousands of blocks. And I don't know if I could ever be that good. I think in time anybody could be, maybe. But I don't think I really could, but I think I can move towards that direction. Now, how far, I don't know. Or at least maybe I want to do one build that's like crazy hyper detailed, and maybe that'll just be the one super hyper detailed one I do. I like the idea of building on that large scale hyper detailed in survival. It just adds that extra like layer to me where creative, it's already a huge feat to do in creative because you have to be sometimes somewhat of a genius to build how they're building. It's picture perfect sometimes. One of my all-time favorite YouTubers, Ilmango. There's definitely some other people that are probably a little bit above how crazy he gets. But also at the same time, I don't think so, because he like played technical Minecraft. He cared about building sometimes, but he was one of those. He was part of the SciCraft server, so they're all crazy. And I'm pretty sure they're engineers, or some of them are engineers, and you can tell because they play the game on another level. And if you've seen SciCraft, you know there's not a lot of worlds that have ever been made that can even come close to that. But they don't really care about building. And I know some people who kind of started to build the crazy technical stuff and care about their building. I'm very excited to see where the future of like the colors in Minecraft go, because now that if you start getting into learning about the colors of Minecraft, you're going to realize the gaps and some of the bigger color details we can't have or don't have. But there's a lot of techniques to make many different colors in this game, and I think it's really cool to see with these builders joining their worlds when you fly up to their build. Some of these builds are stacked like 100 blocks, meaning it's not like a flat picture. It's like a grid of like 100 by like, I don't know, let's say it's just 100 by 100. They use all that 3D space to either make it pop or make a different color by running the light through many different pane glasses colors, using half blocks to block a little bit of a certain color. There's a lot that I never really even knew was happening in Minecraft that is happening. So that is the notch quite a bit above where I'm building. So hopefully maybe this video showed a little bit of how I can think when I play Minecraft. When I was just talking about is kind of where I want to go towards. Like I said, I don't think I could be that crazy. Maybe if I had infinite time, I still don't. It would be a real struggle to get to some of those builds I saw. So I just want to move towards that direction of building, and I think I can do it. I think I can get some pretty good builds. That's why I'm kind of starting to rush to build the island. I just need to finish it because it feels wrong starting all these other projects while I have like 10 projects at my base. So I just want to finish these, and then I can just really start focusing on my other builds. It's just too much yapping. I'm going to end the video now. If you somehow made it to the end, I already tried. That's crazy. I already tried to end the video a little bit ago, and now we're here. If you somehow made it here, thank you. I'm not sure why you want to keep watching, but I will see you in the next episode, maybe. And have a good night.